Sip Bliss, Sip Parvati, Amma, Sip Premchand, Sip Shiva, Sip Gigi, Sip Tina, Sip Gopal, Sip Prakash, Sip Ritika, Sip Yogini, Sip Samatma, Sip Anand, Sip Karan, Sip Sagai, Sip Bliko, Sip Sadanand, Sip Chotwani, Sip Lakshmi, Sip Ahem Sip, Sip Ru Mataji, Sip Laveen, Sip Chidanand, Sip Rutanu, Sip Ashish, Sip Sachin, and Sip to all those who are video is a slip. So let us start. Interesting conversation today. Little tricky. What is the conversation today? The subject, what is a thought? Right? What is a thought? Come on. Who would like to start? We have got Chidanand. Very good. Chidanand, starting with what is a thought?
Shivam Guruji,
Shivam, sir.
the thought is a part of Sukshma Sharira. It
Yeah.
is the subtlest form of prana. That's why
Okay.
the Pancha Pranas are there. Prana, Vyana, Samana, and last part is Uddhana. That's why they say the last thought carries you into the next yoni or life. And if your last thought is on Brahman, then you are definitely sure to achieve moksha.
So do you believe that only the last thought is what matters? Suppose you're a scoundrel.
Yes.
You're a scoundrel throughout your life, and by
Then
chance,
finish. Your last thought will be of a scoundrel, and next janam will be of a scoundrel.
but suppose by chance that one thought, last thought is the not of scoundrel.
Then you become, if it is divine, because that's what all saints and these things have always said.
What they
The
mean,
whole
Chidanand?
effort,
So what they mean
is
is,
so that at the last thought,
yeah,
because
I think
that's what they say,
no,
no.
no, Chidanand,
You
what they
you
mean.
will live a pious life, and the last thought, suppose it becomes. So it's a part of Pancha Prana. And it's
I'm
a
learning.
even Vivekananda said, the subtlest
I'm
form
learning.
of
I'm
prana
learning.
is thought.
I'm learning from you today.
But
I'm
it's
learning
part of
from you.
Sukshma Sharira. It's a subtle,
See,
it's a Sukshma Sharira.
my belief is that your last thought means your consistent thinking. It's not just one random thought. This is like saying, you to become the biggest
That's what it
chore.
is. That's what it is. That's why
Ah,
your last thought will be, that's the reason. Even in Tukaram says, Yachasati Kela Uta Atta. This spiritual life you are leading, so that at the last thought, some unwanted thought doesn't come and I become a deer. So
so
there are so many Shastra Pramanas which specify this.
my dear Chidanand, let's take it in the right perspective. Correct me if I'm wrong. What they mean is, even if you have been a scoundrel all your life, if you get transformed, you meet the right master, you change your
I think
paradigm.
we
Your
lost
last
you.
thought means, yeah, the last thought means what is your consistent transformed thought, not random thought. But I think
Not
that's
random
what you
thought.
mean.
It
Yeah.
cannot be random.
Okay.
It
Okay. Good.
cannot be random because I
Good.
saw my father's death at the last moment and I
Yeah.
realized it. In the last thought, he just told me to switch on the Ramaraksha Stotra, which he was always saying. So he was struggling till the last moment. But when he realized that it is his last, he immediately switched over. He said, you take out your oxygen stick, you switch on this. And
Okay.
immediately he went. So this is practically, I have seen it happening in the life of a person who consistently thinks about God. The last thought is about God.
Okay. So Chidanand has taken the discussion to another topic which we'll take some other time. What is the last thought? But today our topic of discussion is what is a thought? Krishna. What is a thought, Krishna?
Sir Shivoham,
Shivoham.
I was carried away by Chidanandji's because it.
Even I was carried away.
Yeah, but my answer is cut paste copy of Swami Chinmayananda. He has given a small equation for what is a thought.
What is it?
He has said, if I'm right, consciousness. Without consciousness, you can't think. So he says, object plus consciousness is equal to thought. Object consists of your subtle sharir, mind, internal, external, whatever stimuli you have. Object plus consciousness is equal to thought. So he says thought minus object is equal to consciousness. He gives this formula.
Very difficult.
It is not difficult.
Okay, explain to the group. Come on.
It is not difficult because if you have consciousness, either it could be your body perceptions, then you think of a place, object, event, your past memory, jo bhi hai, it is regarded as an object. For that, in deep sleep, you don't think. So you should be consciously aware of that. So when the consciousness engages with all these external or internal thoughts and events and places and whatever, then it gives rise to thoughts. If it is in consciousness, the numbers will be less. If it is in mind state, you have so many people, so many things, then the number of thoughts will be more.
Okay, so now you have come back to our language, which we understand. Can you tell me, if it's a small child, you want to explain the meaning of thought, how you would explain?
He will not think of a thought, sir.
No, okay, not a small child, some high school or college student. Somebody wants to understand what is the thought.
If you tell to a student, body mein perceptions hota hai, same way, mind and consciousness mein, see, so for us, the thinking, I'm sure Chiranji also would know it. He used to explain using a chart of body, mind, intellect, and so body will have perceptions, mind will have in the thought realm. But for all that, consciousness should be there. So मुझे तो इतना ही explain कर सकता.
Okay, let me quickly accept what you are saying. Our understanding is that consciousness comes from where? Consciousness comes from Atma, from birth to death. Any doubt?
No doubt.
No.
Life
Then-
ही आत्मा से है ना.
Huh?
Even life, as he said, Chidanji said, prana itself is from soul, from Atma.
Yeah, but prana
Like
is not a thought. Prana is not a thought. Prana is from
No,
consciousness. Prana,
No, sir.
Krishna, prana comes from consciousness. Consciousness comes from soul.
Okay.
We are very clear. We are very clear in our understanding. We are trying to understand progressively. Let us not be regressive. Let us be progressive. So in the progressive path, we are saying, you agree your life comes from soul, that much spark of unique life, that much you have no doubt about?
So
Yeah.
only
From
if you
the-
have consciousness, yes.
From the soul, we get consciousness. In consciousness, there are many aspects. In consciousness, there is breath, prana. In consciousness, there is thought. Now, even in your dreaming, there is no consciousness. There are thoughts
Yeah.
in the dream. In a state of unconsciousness or subconsciousness, rather, not unconsciousness. So today we are trying to understand, I'm trying to get you all to the subject of understanding thought in our perspective. So, Jasmine and Gopal Prasad.
Sip, I
Yes.
love you all. I
Yes,
think that a
Jasmine.
thought is something that creates your reality. And I think so because I heard you say that negative or positive thoughts lead to emotions, emotions lead
Absolutely.
to actions, so it creates
no.
your reality.
100%. The thought chain, thought creates feeling, feeling creates action, action creates habit, habit creates character, character creates your life. But what is a thought, Jasmine? What is a thought? I think Chidanand
thought,
wants to say something. I will just give
Okay.
Chidanand an opportunity next. Jasmine, what is a thought?
A thought, does it determine if you're conscious or not? I don't know.
No, try. Do you think? Okay, I'm asking, making
If
it
you're
simple
in
to you all.
consciousness?
No,
Mhm.
do you think or you don't think?
Yes, I think. I'm
You
trying to think right now.
Okay, you can't think right now. So, what is this thought? Today, we are trying to get to a simple understanding as to what is a thought. It's not so difficult, it's not so easy. And we are trying to understand this thought from our learning point of view. We are not trying to understand this. We do get Chidanand. Chidanand wants to say something. So, Jasmine, I'm just letting this discussion flow. It's not an easy discussion, but let it flow. We will get to the answer.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
I
you,
just wanted
Thank
to
you,
submit,
Jasmine.
yeah, the prana are of 5 types. What we talk about breath is prana, but there is vyana also,
Yeah,
samana
yeah,
also,
yeah.
vyana and a udana. This udana, even Vivekananda says the subtlest form of this udana is thought.
What is the meaning of
Because
Udana?
thought exists in our sukshma sharira only, is a part of chitta. It is a
So-
part of chitta. It's a memories. See, that's why sometimes it's a part of a karma only. That's why these thoughts are also karma. Prarabdha can give you these thoughts.
No
And
doubt.
that is why the me carries it.
No doubt. Chidanand, we are trying to simplify today. We are trying to
Yes.
contemplate. Try to contemplate when you're saying Udana. I'm trying to see all the 5 types of prana.
Thought is a part of the mind. Thought is a part of the subtle
Udana,
body.
prana, part of the prana, part of Udana, part of
Ye-
prana. No, let me
Yes,
explain
it's a
something to
subtlest
you.
form.
Let me explain something to you. My understanding is prana, the type of prana are, let me quickly tell you, they are, for example, respiration. Respiration,
Yes.
in English, I'm telling you simple to understand, circulation, excretion, all these are processes. These are pranic
Yes.
processes. But
In subtle
Udana,
body.
Udana, I think, is
Mm.
the upward moving of the breath. It is Udana is the moving of prana, the prana forces that creates thought. Udana
Yes.
is what creates thought. But Chidanand, please
Yes.
contemplate for my request to you. Go one step further. Udana creates thought. You said karma creates
Thoughts.
thought. But I'm trying to
Yes.
simplify what is a thought and not what creates
Thought
thought.
is an
What you're saying Udana
expression.
creates. Huh?
Is an expression. It is a part of a vritti also in the mind.
It can be an expression, it can be a memory, it can be a flash, it can be a
It's an
vision.
impression in the mind.
What is the mind when there is no mind? Chidanand,
Correct.
thoda contemplate karo. Try to go
Yes.
deeper, Chidanand. Try to contemplate what today we are trying to discover what is a thought. We all know, but today we are trying to discover it. Gopal Prasad, there's so many masters. Let everybody give their views. It will give the answer. Gopal,
Okay, sir, I bow down to you, sir.
I bow down to you. Tell me, sir.
The process of this is we are drinking.
Google answer.
the
This is a
process-
Google answer. The process of thinking is called a thought.
The process of thinking is there, and then thought is there. Just walking is there, walk is there. Drinking is there, water is there.
Gopal,
Sky is there, cloud is there. So
Gopal. Be silent and try to contemplate what is a thought. A thought is a flash in our consciousness. A thought is a feeling. A thought is an idea. A thought is something that emerges in our consciousness. A thought is a trigger. What is a thought? I want you all to help me with some words that Sip will give you. Contemplate, and we will get the best answer today. We have got Master Will. Yes, Will. Will come with some unusual thing now. What is Will going to tell us, Mr. Will?
Well, I think in a way, you've answered it. But thought is energy. That's what it is. It's
Beautiful. But it's not just energy, because there can be energy without thought also. What is that energy? A spark of energy that makes you think. Basically, a thought makes you think.
no, it
It's
doesn't.
a thought. It's a
The
thought
thought-
that makes you think, right?
No, you're saying there is thought. That's it. You can't say you think. There is thought. Thought is energy.
So
You
what
can't-
is thought?
You can't say thought makes you think. Thought is thought. Thought is thought.
So what is thought?
Energy.
Okay, so Will is just giving a very clear point, and this is similar to what Chidanand says. Chidanand also says Udana. Chidanand says it is Udana, it is prana, it is energy. But I want to go a little deeper, because energy is also consciousness, is also energy. But in consciousness, there is no thought. Thought enters our consciousness. What is that perception? What is that flash? What is that idea? What is that? We have to find the right word.
You have to understand. Thought is nothing.
Thought is, how can thought be nothing? Thought is something. Thought is very important thing.
Well,
Thought decides your life. If you think, there's a beautiful poem. Have you heard this poem, Will? If you think you
could
are
say-
beaten, you are.
Let me.
Have you heard? Yes.
I was going to say thought does not exist. Put it like that.
No, thought exists. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you won't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can.
Yes.
Haven't we heard this in our school days? We say, think positive, think
Yes.
negative. So,
Yeah.
Will, is there something called positive thinking and negative thinking, or there's nothing like positive thinking and negative thinking?
There is those things, yes.
There's a positive thinking, there's negative thinking.
Yes.
What is this thinking? And we are trying to get what is a positive thought. It's a flash in consciousness.
It's
It
also,
is.
the thing is, we're changing words, but prana, energy, karma, karma is the cause of thought.
Correct.
And
Karma is the cause.
also things like greed and hatred, also the cause of thought.
Correct. So, Will, when you have karma, that karma creates a thought in your head. Correct. Suppose the karma comes and tells you, kill that man, kill that man. The thought comes to kill.
Yes.
Where is the thought coming from? From karma.
Yes.
But there's a thought. The thought is what emerges in your consciousness.
Yes.
Suppose you look at somebody and you have a thought of love.
Yes.
And you look at somebody and you have a thought of hate.
Yes.
Same person, today it's love, tomorrow it's hate.
Yes.
Today you have a thought of revenge, tomorrow you have a thought of forgiveness.
Yes.
What is the thought? It is energy, no doubt. I think you said energy, and Chidanand also said. So it is a flash in our consciousness. But what is this thought? We need to find a proper definition today, and I hope SIP will help us. I don't come prepared, I told you, for this conversation. But there's so many people who will help us. Let me see. Many from Google, many from many masters. So let us ask Lawrence. Let me see whether Lawrence is clearly focused today. Lawrence, have you got clear focus, or you're taking us on the merry-go-round?
I believe so. Well, I'll just say, a turkey just went by, and with a family, it told me their one thought was, I don't want to be on somebody's Thanksgiving dinner table. I want to be. And so what does that mean? It means that we have to discriminate between pure thoughts and those that are part of Maya, part of impermanence. And so,
Absolutely.
and not that means then that, you use that term detachment. That's what we have to apply to all of our thoughts. In other words, there's an expression, oh, what kind of thought are you entertaining? Well, yeah, Maya is very entertaining, but if we want God consciousness and realization, then yeah, we have to discriminate and let go of thoughts that are not pure, that are not.
What you're saying,
don't lead to the source.
Is very beautiful. What you're saying is very beautiful, but you're not answered the question. What is a thought?
What is the thought? It is illusion made manifest.
Okay,
simply,
good.
it's duality made manifest. We said there's karma. Oh my gosh, there's karma. Okay, but then what is greater than karma? I would say it's love. It's that oneness that SIP offers.
But good. No, you brought a new perspective. There's a thought of fear. There's a thought of worry. There's a thought of different types of thoughts. So therefore,
yeah.
But we are still trying to get to what is a thought.
Well, here's the thing. You mentioned the breath, and that is one more thing. The breath, I find, meditating, I take a breath, maybe up to 10 or something. They do this in Buddhist places too. I'm not Buddhist. But anyway, thoughts go away. So I would say we can enjoy thoughts if we are free. We have freedom. Our thoughts don't control us.
No, when you say
we
thought,
are the master.
When you say thought goes away, what is the thought that goes away?
Oh, just the mind chatter, really. The mind is full of stuff that's unnecessary.
That's the best answer you've given, a mind chatter. That's the best answer you have given. Ravina,
big problem.
Let's hear. Ravina, yes, Ravina. Thank you, Lawrence. Ravina?
Yeah.
What is the thought?
I think thoughts are expressions of impressions that are probably deep-rooted and sprouted from the five senses.
What a beautiful answer. What a beautiful answer. See, this is coming from divine. Let me explain what she said. A thought is an expression of an impression in our consciousness. Wow. Siddharth, how do you like this? A thought is an expression of an impression in our consciousness.
And they're deep-rooted within the
Deep-rooted.
five?
No,
No?
that they are deep-rooted. No, they may be deep-rooted. They may be a flash. They may be a memory. They may be caused by karma. They may be caused by your five senses. But a thought is an expression of an impression in our consciousness. Your words, you didn't even know what you're speaking, but SIP spoke through you.
Mm.
This is called SIP speaking.
Mm.
And let me see who can understand this, including our beginning Krishna and who spoke in the beginning, whether you understand. Did you get this? Did you get this explanation, Krishna? Thought is an expression of the impression in our consciousness. Try to understand and see whether it makes sense to you. Thank you, Ravina. Bliko will bring some value to this. Bliko is our master.
Shivom, everybody. Shivom. I love you all. This is the best answer I can understand. What I was giving answer is this, but I got the right word is this. It is an expression of impression in our consciousness. What I was about to tell you is the thought is a product, comes as an impression, default setting of our brain due to consciousness, which gives energy, energized by soul. It's something like, it is a autonomous product. It comes automatically by default setting of brain, which is energized by soul. Otherwise, dead body has brain, but it is not energized, so the thought will not come.
Therefore, consciousness. We are using the word consciousness.
You can say consciousness, but brain on consciousness. Yeah.
The brain without consciousness is useless. The hardware is useless.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you like the answer. Is there anything you want to add to the answer, Bliko? From what you
Looks
were
like
trying
there
to
is
say?
nothing required to this. This is a perfect answer from start to
Okay,
end.
let me try. I want everybody to attempt. I want even Girish. I want everybody on the call to attempt. Thank you, Bliko. Sachin, you have anything to add to this? Sachin, what is the
Shivam
thought?
Guruji.
Shivam.
Guruji. What I feel is that the thoughts are coming because of our feelings, and the feelings are coming because of our the state of mind we are into. If we are in the mind state of fear, our thoughts will be negative. If we are in positive state of mind, the thoughts will be positive.
Beautiful. So you're
So
using a little wrong word. I want to correct you, but what you're saying is beautiful. I'm adding a word because of you to the definition. Therefore, it is feelings don't come before thoughts. For your information, Sachin, feelings follow thoughts, but what precedes thoughts are emotions. Therefore, they are the expression. Thoughts are expressions. What did I say? Who remembers what I said?
Is an expression
Thoughts?
of an impression in our consciousness.
Thoughts are an expression of an emotional impression in our consciousness. I'm adding the word because of Sachin. I'm adding the word thoughts are an expression of an impression, which is an emotional impression. So it may be a fearful, it may be a fearful impression. It may be a hateful impression. It may be a loving impression. It may be a divine impression.
But
And these are called emotions, energy.
But what I want to say, Guruji, after coming to the call, at times I used to have a lot of negative, thoughts also, which have not gone, I would say. But now with your, guidance, what I see and your learnings which I've got, I'm able to flip over with that to positive, because I think somewhere I've started to surrender it, as you keep saying. So the more I'm surrendering, of course, the negative feelings or the negative thoughts do come, but immediately I am able to, with the awareness, I get this awareness that I'm going to a negative, emotion or negative feeling. I'm able to flip over to this, that I have to stop this, and I have to stop the rascal mind now, so that it doesn't extend further. And I go to a stage of surrender, complete surrender, whatever is, Shiva, Shiva I'm doing, it's right. It's going to be right.
Okay. I request you to use the word emotion, not feeling. Feeling comes after thought. Emotion causes the thought. So please use an emotion. What Will and Chidanand use the word energy. Emotion is that energy in motion.
But Guruji, is there any way we can stop this thoughts? Is there any way?
You cannot stop thought. You can feed emotion to create positive impression. It is emotion that creates impression in our consciousness that creates expression of thought. It is thought is an energy in motion, and emotion that creates an impression in our consciousness that creates an expression called a thought capture. Thought is the impression created by emotion in our consciousness that causes an expression of thought. Thank you, Sachin. Adding to it. Sukeshini, let me see who else wants to add to it. Sukeshini.
Good evening, sir. Shiva.
Yes, good evening.
Thought is an idea or vision created by our senses. That can that be an answer?
So what is this thought exactly, Sukeshini? You're saying it's an idea. So it's basically an idea means what? It's an okay, let me explain. Your idea means that something comes as an expression from your consciousness, correct? What is an idea? An idea comes as an expression from your consciousness. But where did that idea come from? That idea came, but where did the idea come from? Some impression in your consciousness. What is that impression? It may be something from your senses, what you saw, maybe what you remembered, maybe what somebody, maybe your karma. They may be different, maybe your emotion, maybe you're full of negative emotions, or you're full of emotion of surrender, or you're in an emotion of fear, or you're an emotion of love, whichever emotion you are in. That emotion creates an impression in our consciousness, and that comes out as an idea. You're calling it an idea. It's an expression of thought.
Okay.
It's not an easy subject today. That's why I'm requesting all of you to contribute. We have a new person, Manita Tayal. Manita Tayal is a new person. Yes, so Sukeshini, anything more you want to say? Anything more, Sukeshini?
No, thank you, sir. Just wanted to try. Thank you.
No, good contribution. You added Manita Tayal, somebody new on the call. Yes, Manita?
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
What I feel, the thought is it's something to imagine. Basically, what you mentioned is expression of impression of consciousness. I believe that if you if you are able to control your thoughts and what do you say, divert your thoughts to positives and constructive thoughts. I think there is a way to control and make divert your negative thoughts to positive consciously.
Correct. You can do through your intellect, through your consciousness. But are you coming for the first time on this call, or have you attended before?
No, this is the second time. Bhumika had shared this link with me.
Okay, good. So, good. Welcome to the call. But please, if you attend a few more calls, then you know the terminology that we are speaking. But thank you for joining and your inputs. Okay. So we have got Rajinder. We have some more people who are on round, and Rajinder and Bliss. And then we have second round for those who want to come. But first, Rajinder and Bliss.
Shivam, sir.
Sir, Shivam.
Sir, I think thought is basically consciousness objective. Means subject to consciousness. Subject to consciousness, I mean the consciousness carried by the soul. Subject to...
आपने पहले बोला, I think thought. What do you mean by... Wait. Please explain to me what you mean by that. I think thought. First, I want to stop you and ask you. You started by saying, I think thought. Explain that.
Again, the same thing, which I am explaining, sir. It is basically consciousness objective. Consciousness objective, or the subjective consciousness focusing on the objects. Means...
Dekho, when you said, I think thought, it means it was an expression of your consciousness from an impression that is emotional.
That is why I am trying to, sir, explain my own words, sir. What is my objective? Why I say objective? Consciousness.
आपने आंसर को एंडोर्स किया, आपने आंसर को एंडोर्स कर दिया आपके बोलने में. बोलिए.
एंडोर्स किया एक और में. I say consciousness objective means what is object? Object is all these impressions, what the people are saying, memories, all this objective. There are two. I think there are subjective consciousness and objective consciousness. Subjective consciousness is that when there are no thoughts, because when the subject means the soul will go inward. Subject focusing on the subject, there will be no thought. That gap. What we call
तो बताइए अगर you are in that state of consciousness where there is no thought, okay, we are on the same page right now. We are in a state of consciousness where there is no thought. Stop. Now answer my question. in that state of consciousness where there is no thought, where does the thought come from?
It is a moment, sir. When it is a
My
moment.
dear, my dear,
At
be
that
in
moment, the thought
consciousness.
will not come, sir. At
My
that
dear.
moment, the thought will not come. That is
My
why
dear.
we say slow the mental thought that come karo. Please say
राजेंद्र, राजेंद्र, आपने मेंटल थॉट कम किया, अभी आप कॉन्शियसनेस में है, आपके पास एक भी थॉट नहीं है.
हाँ.
आपका थॉट नहीं है, कितना टाइम ऐसे हो सकता है? एक साल?
momentary. I say momentary.
हाँ,
Say
वो जो नेक्स्ट थॉट आता है,
हाँ.
वो क्या है और कहां से आता है?
That is when the subject to consciousness goes outward, it goes towards the object. What is object? Object is those memories, those impressions, and world Maya jo bahar hai.
Exactly what Ravina said. Those are impressions. Those are impressions in your consciousness.
So for me, the thought is object to consciousness. Focusing on the
that's what your words.
Subject is within. What I say subject, I say self, I. That is subject for me. Then it is away from the subject.
So who is getting the thought? Who is that subject?
When that subject is focusing on the object, the energy of that subject.
Who is the subject?
Subject is I, basically. The big.
Who is I?
I is soul.
Soul does not get the thought.
नहीं, soul नहीं, उसका consciousness है ना जो आ रहा है बाहर.
Soul is inside you. In every cell of your existence. That soul creates consciousness. In that consciousness in Rajendra, in that entire body of Rajendra of consciousness, a thought emerges.
Yes.
What is that thought?
On the object, sir. When the consciousness is focusing, when that consciousness is focused on the object.
Consciousness does not focus
on the object. That energy that gets focused on the object.
Consciousness does not focus on an object.
Then who is focusing on the object?
Good question. Pay attention. In consciousness, there is thought. In consciousness, there is thought. That thought becomes a feeling. That feeling becomes an action. And that is done by the Jivatma. The Jivatma, the body, it's not like who's processing the data in the computer. The full computer, hardware, software, power supply, everybody. But Rajendra, you are very clear about your thought. I want one more attempt for you to try और इस आंसर को थोड़ा इम्प्रूव करो.
जब हम बोलते हैं माइंड बनता है, बम्बार्डमेंट ऑफ थॉट्स होते हैं, ठीक है सर. लेकिन जब हम बोलते हैं MTR लो होता है, दैट मींस देयर इज गैप बिटवीन द थॉट्स. ठीक सर. वो जो गैप है, दैट मींस द थॉट इज क्रिएटेड, समथिंग इज फोकसिंग ऑन समथिंग, द थॉट दैट इज क्रिएटेड.
करेक्ट. इसलिए अरे वही राजेंद्र वही तो बोल रहे हैं. इट इज एन एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ इंप्रेशन इन द कॉन्शियसनेस. इसको इम्प्रूव करो ना.
That impression of the consciousness, when it is focused on the outward, on the objects. When it's not focused on the object, it is not thought.
It can be focused on the outward object.
Yes.
And if there is no outward object, it can emerge from memory also.
Object is memory. In this case, memory is also object. Impression is also
memory is सूक्ष्म शरीर. Memory is not object.
Whatever that is, उसके बाद subtle में जाएंगे हम. पहले हम thought creation की बोलेंगे. सब ये externally है, मान लेते हैं.
Okay, good. You are fully in consciousness right now. Please see if you can add on to the point that we are trying to get. Thank you. Bliss and Girish Ananda. Then we will come to others. Bliss and Girish Ananda.
I
and then of course second round everybody. Yes, tell me, Bliss.
Love you all.
Love you all. Love is also a thought. I love you is a thought. Tell me.
Yes. Me too, I love you. Thought is from Spark of Unique Life.
Good.
It is a processus mental processus to keep the brain active with the energy, positive and negative. It's from the past, it's from the karma, and it's only to keep the brain active, and it's linked also to everything we feel and all emotion, we are in the present moment. So it's from the soul, it's from the what we live now and what we imagine in the future.
Good inputs. But because of your language, we have limitation from adding to your thing. But thank you. I understand.
Yes, I'm not
Thank you,
able
Girish.
to explain
No
everything
problem. I
right.
understand. I understand. Thank you. Girish Ananda. Let us hear Girish. What is Girish going to? I want some intelligent introspection on this. Girish Ananda.
When we access our memory, smriti, a thought arises.
Correct.
Whenever there is sensual input, a thought arises. It is
Correct.
a internal response.
So what I'm getting, because of you, I'm getting a beautiful word. But what are you trying to say? Please explain. What you're saying. The word, before I forget the word, I'm getting the word. It is an impulse. It is an it is an impulse in our consciousness. Sorry, it is an impression in our consciousness that creates an impulse that becomes an expression. So it is a trigger. It triggers what you're saying. It triggers the memory, or memory triggers it. There's something called, I don't know where the word impulse will fit, but thought is also an impulse. It is impulsive. I don't know where the words will fit, Girish, what you're saying. But what, according to you, is this thought, Girish? It comes from memory. It comes from senses. Agreed. But what is this thought? Is the what? So what you're saying?
Whatever data comes through our five senses.
Yeah.
It is compared with our previous experiences or whatever is there in our memory.
Yes.
A new expression is given.
Yeah, the expression, thought is an expression, but you are now trying to talk about the impression. The impression comes from the senses, the impression comes from the memory, correct? You're talking of this or not? You're talking about the expression or the impression?
Yes. But the final expression is coming through the memory because we compare it with our past experiences.
Maybe coming through memory, maybe becoming memory. Maybe it's not a memory, it's a fresh thought. Have you seen Kachumba Kuchumbu? What is Kachumba Kachumbu? That's the new fruit from Africa. Kachumba Kachumbu. Now you are seeing Kachumba Kachumbu. Now that goes into your memory, Kachumba Kachumbu. There's no past Kachumba Kachumbu.
It will become an impression.
It will become an impression. Yeah, because of the expression from your eyes and from your brain, it becomes an impression. So it's very important for us to understand, okay, why am I talking about all this? Today, are we just doing some time pass? No. We must get to the root of thought. We must understand what is happening in our consciousness. We must understand the process of thought creation. Thoughts are created by emotion, energy in motion, which create impulses and impressions in our consciousness which become expression of thought. So when a thought happens, we must know. For example, today, where does the thought of fear come from? A thought of fear comes because the emotion of fear is in your consciousness, and that emotion of fear leaves an impression, and that impression creates an impulse, and the expression is a fearful thought. You are afraid. So if you change the emotion, you can change the impression. You can change the expression. You can change your thoughts. There are many books which says change your thoughts and change your life. But how do you change your thoughts? You change your thoughts by changing the impressions created in consciousness, by changing the emotion that you choose. But thought will continue to erupt. Thoughts are like popcorn. The popcorn, it depends on what seed you put in the machine, popcorn machine. Put, 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 put. And today we are trying to get to the root. What is a thought? So Girish, anything more before we pass on? Thank you, Girish. Thank you for trying. Rumataji.
प्रणाम गुरुजी.
Satish trying to speak after a long time. हाँ बोलिए
Guru,
Rumataji.
Guruji, whatever I am going to speak may be irrelevant or not
बोलिए,
according to your expectation, but I am remembering one thing कि जब हम माला जपते हैं हाथ में और मुंह में हम राम राम कहते हैं या जो भी मंत्र बोलते हैं, पर हमारा मन तो 10 दिशाओं में भटक रहा होता है, तो ये तो सिमरन नहीं. So this means whatever is deviating us from meeting the SIP is a thought.
It's not only deviating from meeting SIP. Suppose you want to think of loving SIP. You have got deep passion of loving SIP. Then the thought of loving SIP also can be there.
So whatever is deviating us is a thought, no?
No, that is the mind.
That is a mind. Okay.
That is mind. That is not thought.
Okay.
The mind is only a bundle of toxic thoughts. Today we are not talking of mind. Today we are talking of thought.
तो ये थॉट नहीं है जो हमें मतलब डिस्टर्ब कर रही है. माला जप रहे हैं और मुंह में राम राम कह रहे हैं और हमारा मन भटक रहा है चारों तरफ, दसों दिशा में.
वो अगर एक थॉट होता आपके कॉन्शियसनेस में, आपका बुद्धि उसको शूट भी कर देता, लेकिन वो एक थॉट नहीं है. इट इज द टॉक्सिक थॉट ऑफ द माइंड. माइंड है उसके पीछे.
Okay.
All negativity is rooted in the mind. All positivity is rooted in consciousness.
Okay.
All negativity is rooted in mind. All positivity is rooted in intellect.
Yes.
But we are trying to get to the root.
Thank
Satish,
you,
root of thought. Satish, Bala is the first round. We are still in the first round and then we go second. Meenakshi. Satish, Bala, Meenakshi. And then we go second round.
Thank you, sir. And I'll take the scientific angle. So please bear with me. It may be at the end of the day, maybe all incorrect, but please bear with me.
Tell me, Satish.
Yeah. So there are three things that are very interrelated. One is thought, thinking, and the thinker. So thought is a response of memory.
Yes.
And the memory is all this combination of all the experiences. Like one example of thought is that I say AiR is an amazing person who is doing such a great service. It's a thought in my brain, which is which is stored out of all the experiences of attending these calls over a few months.
Yes.
So now the next important thing is that thought being a response of memory, then the question comes, what is thinking? The thinking is the movement of this thought. When one thought leads to another thought. And then the next question comes up, what is the thinker?
Yes.
Thinking is the thinker. So there is no one independent of thinking, because if there are no thoughts, then there are no thinking and there are no thinker. And that's why, and so the brain is the instrument that stores all these thoughts. And so that's how it is interrelated. And then the question comes up, is this thoughts fixed or does it undergo a process of mutation? And that is where you always bring up a beautiful point upon awareness. When we are aware of the thought, it goes through the process of mutation. Like, for example, I'm angry on somebody for some reason. When I observe that thought, that anger, then in that very process of awareness, the thought undergoes a change. Because thought is a matter, actually. It is not, it is a matter which is stored in our brain. Awareness, being a pure energy, acts on the matter and it goes the process of mutation. That is why when we are in deep awareness, the thought itself dissolves and then the bliss that happens in every thought.
No,
without words, there are no thoughts.
What you said is very beautiful. I'm asking you one more time. Would you like to summarize the answer? What is the thought in one sentence?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So thought is the response of our memory that is stored in our brain, and all the memory is because of the experiences.
Okay. So good. So thank you, Satish. Satish has brought about a scientific perspective of a thought, and we can dwell on that. But we are trying to get a spiritual angle. We will keep Satish's point in mind. Bala, आपको कुछ बोलना है? Bala, Meenakshi Jain, and Anand. And then the second round, we have Ravina, Will, Gopal, Jasmine in the second round.
Pranam Guruji. We
Pranam,
are
bolo baat.
born to, actually, we are born to enlighten and be in Sachitanand. But this is the purpose of our life. But we forget everything, and we become the part of the illusionary world. So, and whatever we capture with our senses, with our five senses, that becomes a thought. So we have to be alert. What we see, what we listen, where do we go? So alertness is only this thing. Alertness will stop us from the thinking process.
Good, Bala, but I'm not able to add anything more. Let us thank you, Bala. Anand and Meenakshi, before we go to the final round.
Shivoham, Guruji.
Shivoham.
I'm just trying to summarize what I heard. So I'm just summarizing it as thought is an impulse, which is an expression of the emotional impressions in our consciousness.
Come again.
Thought is an impulse, which is an expression of the emotional impressions in our consciousness.
Beautiful. Capture what he's saying. Please capture.
Yeah.
Thoughts are?
Thought is an impulse, which is an expression of the emotional impressions in our consciousness.
Beautiful. What an amazing capture of the whole discussion. Thoughts are an expression. Thoughts are an impulse.
Which is an expression of the emotional impression in our consciousness.
What a beautiful capture. Thoughts are an impulse which is an expression of the emotional impression in our consciousness. Thoughts are an impulse. Impulse means trigger. Impulse meaning. What is thought is an impulse which is an expression of the emotional impression in our consciousness. It makes sense to you, Anand, or you've just done a mechanical capture?
No. Because thought is like, it just happens in a moment, right? So that's why that impulse
so
comes. Why that
impulse
is coming is because it's like an expression. That's what I learned. Initially, I was going to, when the call began, I thought is just a movement in the consciousness, but I think a lot of good answers came, and that's where I kind of summarized. That's what I said in the beginning. I'm just summarizing what I heard.
But do you think we have caught it, or you think we still have to have one more session on the subject, or you think we have got it?
No, I think it's a deep subject. Maybe it can evolve.
ठीक है? Answer ठीक है? Answer is good or no? Anybody wants to one more session, or we have enough? Meenakshi. Eru, आपको कुछ बोलना है? Any give Eru, unmute Eru after Meenakshi. Eru,
Yes, sir. Shivoham.
Shivoham.
So, sir, I got my one-line sentence from your popcorn. When you told about popcorn, I suddenly moved to movie theater and eating popcorn. So there was some thought regarding the popcorn. So I thought the answer could be, in simplified language, thought is an output which is coming from inputs which are given by mind, which are given by senses and memories.
Beautiful. Exactly what we are saying. What you are saying, output is, you are saying impulse.
Yeah.
And what you are saying from memory and senses is nothing but impression.
Yes.
So you agree? I mean, I hope you agree.
So output is coming from some inputs which are by senses and memories.
We are only not calling it output and input. We are calling it impression. We are calling it an impulse. That is an expression caused by an emotional impression in our consciousness. Correct? This is what is it? Very beautiful. Eru, would you like to add to it? Let's give Eru a chance. She's our PhD on the subject. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Bolo.
So, impulse is what? Impulse is a desire to act.
Yes. Is that the impulse? Is that the Google definition, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is a sudden, strong, and reflective urge or desire to act.
Beautiful.
So I captured like that. A thought is an impulse, an expression of an impression on our chit or consciousness caused by an emotion, which is energy in motion. arriving from our chitta or memory, and then the man or mind due to our prarabdha and agami karma, past and present action.
Good, but that's very deep. Now I'm accepting that for you for writing a book, but you please, it is too deep for people to capture on the call. But please capture it as our thing, right? Thank you. So we have got Meenakshi ho gaya, AiR ho gaya. Now we are in round number 2. Ravina, because you're the master of the SIP used you. SIP used you to create the answer. Yes, Ravina.
Something different is again coming. That a thought is a ritualistic functioning of a lawful software. This is what I just wrote. A ritualistic functioning of a lawful software that functions on a fertile manure of the individual's moment of life.
This is exactly what's happened, that when you got the thought from SIP in your consciousness. Now your mind is coming and flowering your consciousness with other fancy things, and your mind is trying to confuse the beautiful answer you already gave. So
Okay.
I'm not touching the second answer.
Actually, what it means is that, look, we are given as an individual a fertile new life which functions on a lawful software.
That's all okay. But that's confusing the complete definition that you earlier gave.
Okay. Okay.
What you gave earlier, I told you sometimes we don't speak, Ravina.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
it is the Lord.
where did you get this? When you spoke today, where did you get it from?
Lord.
It came into your consciousness. And how I grabbed it when you spoke, how today I grabbed it when you spoke.
Yeah.
Because it appealed to my consciousness. From your consciousness, the thought from your consciousness became an impression in my consciousness.
Yes.
And it became an expression of the idea of what is thought.
Yeah, but when you say that, from a memory, I want to ask you is like, if there are no senses connected and no...
Who said no senses connected? Who told you? Who told you no senses are connected?
If it's a past karma that brings a thought in the mind,
My
it has
dear,
to be sparked.
My dear, the impression in our consciousness may be a thought coming from karma. It may be an impression coming from your senses. It may be coming from your memory. It may be coming from anywhere.
Yeah.
But it is an impression in your consciousness that creates an expression and become an impulse. An impulse is a feeling, a strong feeling of action. A thought is like that. A thought is an electrical impulse. So biologically, scientifically, they will tell you thoughts are electrical impulses.
Yeah, so they're like how moonbeam sprouts, how they sprout on a manure which is fertile. It has to sprout.
Yeah, I think the SIP has given us the answer. So let us quickly close. We have got, thank you, Ravina, for helping. Now, Jasmine, Will, Gopal, Bliko, and Sachin. We close. Jasmine, Will, Gopal, Bliko, and Sachin. Quickly.
Yes, I think a thought is a reaction to what you expose yourself to. If I watch a dark movie, then I'll have negative thoughts. And if I watch positive things, then the reaction is positive thoughts. And I think this is a way that you can control negative thoughts.
Is it matching the definition we have, or is it not matching?
Yes, it matches.
It matches. Yes, you're right. A positive or negative is what impression goes into your consciousness. If it is a positive impression, it becomes a positive expression. If it is a negative impression, it becomes a negative expression. That becomes an expression, that becomes an impulse, and that becomes a thought. It creates feeling, it creates action.
Okay, so it's reactions to what you're experiencing.
Yeah, the reaction is the impulse creates a reaction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Will, it makes sense to you, Will, or you have something else to say?
I think it's too complicated. I think the answer can be said much more simply. I think you have
Can
to
you
say...
make it? Would you like to make it simple?
Well, I think a thought is an expression of a flash of energy.
Correct. Exactly what we are saying, but you're saying it in a much simpler word. That's all.
I just say it in a simple way. And then the next question is what is the flash of energy? That's also a very interesting question. But
so that comes from the answer. The flash of energy you're talking about is caused by the impression in your consciousness. I'd
like to propose that the flash of energy is SIP.
No, the flash of an energy is in consciousness that is created by SIP. SIP is enjoying the show. SIP has created this show so that there are so many millions and billions and trillions of thoughts at this point of time, Will, in this world of 8 billion people. There are trillions of thoughts that are being there are impulses in the billions of people. You agree?
Yes.
And they are all because of impressions in consciousness.
Yes.
Beautiful, very beautiful. Thank you. Gopal, Bliko, Sachin. And Krishna, where did Krishna go? I want Krishna's comments in the end. Because
Hello, sir.
she will add value. Yes.
I summarize it, what I understood. A thought, a form of energy which occurs in our consciousness, is the response of memory as knowledge, experience, ideas, belief, etc., stored in the subtle body which expresses itself through our brain.
Can be, you can say it. If you would like to say it, you can. But remember, when we try to put a one-line definition, there's a lot of thought and there's a grace of SIP that comes in the call. So if you keep your own definition, you are at a loss because you will only be able to remember it yourself. But we will be referring to what we spoke now, which Anand was very kind enough to summarize. And Anand added the word impulse, I think, very beautifully. And I think Anand added the word impulse. Anand said a thought is an impulse. Wow. What a wow word. Anand added a wow word. It's an impulse. An impulse that is an expression of an impression in our consciousness caused by an emotional impression in our consciousness. Correct? Thought is an impulse, which is an expression caused by an emotional impression in our consciousness. Correct? See how it has got into my head. And started with Ravina saying something which I captured and everybody saying something. But we must try to summarize something which even after 10 years, if I ask Chidanand on the road in Bombay, Chidanand, what's a thought? Chidanand will say, thought is an impulse. That is an expression of an emotional impression in my consciousness. This is, I'm sorry to say, but even if Swami Chinmayananda was there, you should be happy with what we got. Bliko, yes, but that Krishna will confirm. Bliko, what do you feel, sir?
Thought is done, but I'm thinking, and I was thinking about thinking. What is thinking then? So I'll write down what is thinking then, right? If thought is coming like impulse, then what is the thinking? So thinking is a deliberation or intention of controlled emotion on particular subject to expand or to get it more using the power of consciousness. That is thinking. Good. Because you are thinking like you want to write down a book on mind. So you are thinking on mind and expanding it using your consciousness power.
So what did you say? Thinking is what? What did you say? Is it thinking is?
Thinking is a deliberation or intention.
Is a deliberate. Is a deliberate
intention of controlled emotion on particular subject.
Bliko. You said something very beautiful. Please try to improve it from today to the next call. So thinking is a deliberate and controlled process of using impulses of thought for a purpose.
Particular subject.
That is either controlled by our mind or consciousness. Thinking is a deliberate and controlled process of impulses of thoughts controlled either by mind or by consciousness. If that is controlled by the mind, then it is completely that thoughts can destroy you. If it is controlled by
that's
consciousness,
why I'm using the word power of consciousness.
So it may not be. Thinking can be definitely mind also. Give it option. You're not saying positive thinking. You're just asking what is thinking. So because this is your homework, please work on it to get to the perfect end of it. But very good thought. I can only tell you that the impulse that was an expression of the emotional impression in your consciousness about thinking was a good impulse. Yes. You had a good impulse. Thank you, Sachin and Krishna.
Shivam Guruji, I just want to request one thing. If this is possible by the administrator, that such good things which we're discussing now, as a summary, if it can be put on a note anywhere, on a daily basis, because such beautiful things may not, come back again.
It will not go anywhere. It is captured. It will come to you either by WhatsApp or it will come to you on the Zoom chat. Can we paste it in the chat now? Okay, we are pasting it now.
Not for today. All days, there are certain beautiful things which comes from you.
Sachin, normally we don't let it go. Normally it gets captured. कहीं जाता नहीं. You can ask members of the Zoom call. None of the things get captured. I'm asking Krishna to close the discussion. Krishna, she's there? Okay, Krishna says no.
I'm not able to write because I'm driving right now. So I want to make a note for myself. So it's good if you can capture as a note, on a daily basis, your summary.
We'll send you the note. My dear friends, in the meanwhile, I want to thank Chidanand for taking responsibility of Crossword Bombay. I want to thank Siva for coming forward, I think, for Crossword Delhi and Savatma. Sukeshni or Savatma? Sukeshni, you have offered Sukeshni? Sukeshni for Pune. But we have 30 cities in India. There are still many cities, including Bangalore, including Delhi, including Hyderabad, Chennai, including states like Gujarat, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. So if there are people who would like to contribute and help us in reaching the books to the world, all you've got to do is visit the crossword shops and take ownership and see whether books are available, they are being displayed, whether people are buying the books, and become the ANSA. ANSA is AiR Network of Souls that are awakened, the ANSA volunteer in the crossword activity. In the meanwhile, for all those who participated, I do not know what is the answer, what is the thought. Honestly, I come to this session as an ignoramus. I come with complete surrender, only as a postman, trying to pick all the pieces of post which SIP sends. And then there are then some people give a very different view and some people give very, very different view. And my job is just to pick those pieces of right wisdom and put them together. So with that note and folded hands, I bow down. Meenakshi, you want to say something? Meenakshi, quickly.
Sir, I'll do for Jaipur. The
Jaipur,
crossword.
very good. Thank you, Meenakshi. With folded hands, I bow down to you.